Most gardeners spend money every single season on fertilizers, soil amendments, and plant boosters while throwing away one of the most powerful plant foods on the planet without ever realizing it. And the frustrating part? The vegetables in those gardens never quite reach their potential. The tomatoes are smaller than they should be, the peppers take forever to produce, the leafy greens look pale and tired halfway through the season, and no matter how much water or care goes in, something always feels like it's missing. That missing piece is nutrients. Specifically, a steady, consistent supply of the right nutrients delivered directly to the root zone in a form the plant can actually use. But here's what changes everything. You don't need to spend more money to fix it. You need to stop throwing away what you already have. Today, we're covering 6 free fertilizer secrets that experienced gardeners swear by. Why each one works, exactly how to make and apply them, the mistakes that destroy results, and the final secret, number 6, that most gardeners completely overlook, but that makes everything else dramatically more effective. Before we go any further, drop a comment and tell us what's the best vegetable harvest you've ever had. We'd love to hear it. Let's start with why your vegetables might be struggling in the first place. Soil doesn't stay fertile on its own. Every time a plant grows, it pulls nutrients from the ground. Every time it rains, more nutrients wash downward and away from the root zone. Every season, the soil gets a little more depleted, a little more compact, a little less alive. And the signs show up in your plants before they show up anywhere else. Pale yellow-green leaves instead of deep, lush green. Stems that look thin and weak instead of sturdy and strong. Flowers that drop before fruit sets. Small, slow-developing vegetables that never quite reach full size. These aren't watering problems, these are soil problems. Healthy vegetable production depends on 3 core nutrients. Nitrogen drives leaf and stem growth. It's what gives plants that deep, dark green color. Phosphorus supports root development and fruit production. Potassium strengthens the plant's immune system, improves water movement, and helps vegetables reach full size and flavor. When any of those 3 are low, the whole plant slows down. But here's what most fertilizer advice misses. It's not just about adding nutrients, it's about making the soil capable of holding and delivering those nutrients consistently. And that comes down to one thing: organic matter and the microbial life it supports. This is where the 6 secrets come in. Secret number 1, aerated compost tea. This is the foundation of the entire system, and before you skip past it thinking you've already heard of it, stay with us, because most gardeners either don't make it correctly or they're missing the one step that turns it from a mild soil drench into a genuinely powerful growth accelerator. Compost tea is exactly what it sounds like. You steep finished compost in water, allow beneficial microorganisms to multiply, and apply that living liquid directly to your soil and plants. It doesn't cost a single dollar if you're already composting or even if you're using kitchen scraps for the first time. Here's why this works so well on vegetables specifically. When you pour compost tea into your soil, you're not just adding nutrients, you're introducing billions of beneficial bacteria and fungi that colonize the root zone and essentially work as a second digestive system for your plant. They break down organic matter into soluble nutrients, they suppress harmful pathogens, they improve soil structure so water and air move freely to the roots, and they create a feedback loop. The healthier your soil biology, the better your plants grow, and the more root activity feeds the microbial community in return. It becomes a self-reinforcing system. Now, let's talk about how to actually make this, because the preparation matters more than most people realize. Start with a 5-gallon bucket. Fill it with 4 gallons of dechlorinated water, water that's been left to sit for at least 24 hours so the chlorine dissipates. Add roughly 1 to 2 cups of finished compost. If you don't have finished compost, you can use well-aged worm castings, a handful of dried leaf mold, or a mix of coffee grounds and crushed dried eggshells. Each of those contributes something different: nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, and microbial diversity. Stir the mixture thoroughly. Then let it steep for 24 to 48 hours, stirring once or twice during that window. But this is where things get interesting. The standard version of compost tea is decent, but the aerated version is dramatically more effective. When you add an aquarium air pump and a simple air stone to that bucket, the oxygen you introduce creates an environment where beneficial aerobic bacteria multiply at an explosive rate. Within 24 hours of aeration, the microbial population in that bucket increases by hundreds of millions of organisms. You go from a mild nutrient drench to a genuinely living soil inoculant. An aquarium pump costs just a few dollars if you don't have one. Run it into the bucket for 24 to 36 hours, and what you pull out is one of the most biologically active soil amendments you can apply to a vegetable garden. One mistake many gardeners make is applying compost tea that has gone past its effective window. Once aeration stops and the tea sits without oxygen for more than a few hours, the bacterial population shifts from beneficial to harmful. The tea starts to smell sour or sulfurous. At that point, it goes onto the compost pile, not onto your vegetables. The rule is simple. Once aeration stops, apply within 2 to 4 hours. Fresh, active tea only. Also, for seedlings or plants under 6 weeks old, dilute 2 parts water to 1 part tea. Younger plants are more sensitive to concentrated applications, even organic ones. Apply compost tea every 10 to 14 days throughout the growing season. That's the sweet spot for most vegetables. Secret number 2. Fermented banana peel liquid. This is one of the highest natural sources of potassium available in most home kitchens, and potassium is critical for fruiting vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, zucchini, cucumbers, because it regulates water movement through the plant and drives the final stages of fruit development. Low potassium means small, bland, slow-maturing fruit. To make it, take 4 to 6 banana peels, chop them roughly, and place them in a jar or container. Cover completely with water and add a small pinch of sugar to encourage fermentation. Leave loosely covered, not sealed, for 5 to 7 days at room temperature. The liquid will turn dark amber or brown and develop a slight sour smell. Strain out the solids and dilute 1 part banana peel liquid to 5 parts water before applying directly to the root zone of fruiting plants. Use this every 2 weeks during the fruiting stage and watch what happens to fruit size. One mistake many gardeners make with banana peel fertilizer is applying it undiluted. Straight fermented liquid, even from organic material, can overwhelm root uptake and actually pull moisture out of the root zone through osmotic pressure. Always dilute, always. And honestly, this shocked many gardeners who tried it for the first time. Pepper plants that were producing slowly suddenly push out new buds faster than expected. Tomato clusters multiply. The potassium delivery from something most people peel and throw directly in the bin is genuinely surprising. Secret number 3. Grass clippings tea. Fresh grass clippings are extremely high in nitrogen, sometimes as high as 4% by dry weight, which is comparable to many commercial nitrogen fertilizers. When you steep fresh clippings in water for 3 to 5 days, that nitrogen leaches into the water and creates a fast-acting liquid feed that vegetables can absorb rapidly. Fill a bucket 1/3 full of fresh clippings, top with water, cover loosely, and allow to steep for 3 to 5 days, stirring daily. The result will be a dark green liquid with a strong smell. Dilute 1 part grass tea to 10 parts water and apply to the soil around heavy nitrogen feeders, leafy greens, brassicas, sweet corn, and early-stage tomatoes. But this is where things get worse for gardeners who skip one critical step. Do not use grass clippings from a lawn treated with herbicides or pesticides within the past 6 weeks. Those compounds don't fully break down during steeping. They transfer into the liquid and can damage your vegetables, slow germination in nearby seedlings, or create bizarre deformity in new leaf growth. Clover-shaped or cupped new leaves on tomatoes after applying grass tea is almost always a sign of herbicide contamination. If you're unsure about the source, don't use it. Stick to compost tea or banana peel liquid as your base. What vegetables are you growing this season? Drop a comment. We'd love to know what you're working with. Secret number 4, wood ash. If you have a fire pit, a wood-burning stove, or access to clean hardwood ash, this is one of the best free sources of potassium and calcium available to organic gardeners. A single application around brassicas, root vegetables, and fruiting plants helps regulate soil pH while delivering both minerals directly to the root zone. Apply wood ash sparingly, a light dusting around the base of plants, no more than a 1/4 cup per square foot. Work it lightly into the surface of the soil rather than piling it directly against the stem. Here's the important restriction. Do not use wood ash around acid-loving plants like blueberries, potatoes, or strawberries. Wood ash raises pH. On plants that need slightly acidic conditions, it will actually lock out nutrients rather than provide them. One mistake many gardeners make with wood ash is using too much. Excess ash raises pH so significantly that it creates a nutrient lockout situation. The minerals are technically present in the soil, but the pH shift prevents the plant's roots from accessing them. A little goes a long way. Once or twice per season is enough for most vegetable beds. Secret number 5, eggshell calcium tea. Calcium deficiency is one of the most common and underdiagnosed problems in vegetable gardens. It shows up as blossom end rot on tomatoes and peppers, that dark, sunken patch on the bottom of the fruit that ruins entire harvests. It shows up as tip burn on lettuce. It shows up as hollow or stunted fruiting in squash. And the solution is usually sitting in your kitchen every single morning. Collect eggshells over a week or 2. Rinse them lightly and allow them to air dry. Then crush them as finely as possible. The finer the better, because surface area determines how quickly the calcium releases into the water. Add the crushed shells to a gallon of water and steep for 24 to 48 hours. Add a small splash of apple cider vinegar to accelerate the calcium extraction. The mild acidity helps dissolve the calcium carbonate from the shell into a form plants can access more readily. Apply this directly to the soil at the base of tomatoes, peppers, squash, and any plant showing signs of calcium deficiency, every 2 weeks through the fruiting season. The combination of this calcium tea with your compost tea rotation creates a remarkably complete nutrient profile for vegetable production, and it costs nothing beyond what you're already consuming in your kitchen. Have you ever made a homemade fertilizer before? Tell us in the comments. We're curious what's worked for you. At this point, you realize that healthy vegetable gardens often depend less on expensive products and more on feeding the soil correctly. The plants are doing the work, the microbes are doing the work. Your job is just to create the conditions that support all of it. And the remarkable thing is that everything we've covered in Secrets 1 through 5 comes almost entirely from material that most households either compost or throw directly in the trash. But secret number 6, this is the one that ties the whole system together, and most gardeners never even consider it a fertilizer strategy. Secret number 6, surface mulching as a fertilizer amplifier. Every single liquid fertilizer application you make becomes dramatically more effective when the soil surface is covered with a 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch. Straw, shredded leaves, wood chips, or dry grass clippings all work. The mulch does several things simultaneously. It prevents moisture evaporation, so your liquid fertilizer applications stay in the root zone longer instead of evaporating from the surface. It moderates soil temperature, which keeps microbial activity high even during summer heat spikes. And as it slowly breaks down, it adds more organic matter to the upper layer of soil, feeding the very biology that makes all of your liquid inputs more effective. Most people completely overlook this step. They apply compost tea, banana peel liquid, or grass clipping tea to bare soil on a warm day, and a significant portion of that application evaporates or runs off before it reaches the root zone. With a mulch layer in place, the liquid absorbs slowly and evenly down into the soil where the roots actually are. This is the secret that makes secrets 1 through 5 work at their full potential. Without it, you're leaving results on the table every single time you apply a liquid feed. And when the full system runs together, compost tea feeding the biology, banana peel liquid driving fruiting, grass tea pushing nitrogen, wood ash balancing minerals, eggshell tea preventing calcium deficiency, and mulch locking all of it into the root zone, the garden shifts into a completely different level of productivity. The growth difference becomes obvious fast. Let me walk you through what this looks like when the full system comes together across a single growing season. Imagine planting tomato seedlings into a bed prepared with finished compost worked into the top 6 inches of soil. In the first 2 weeks after transplanting, you apply aerated compost tea every 10 days to encourage root establishment. The leaves stay dark green. Transplant shock is minimal. The plants push new growth within days. By week 4, the first flower clusters appear. You introduce banana peel tea to the rotation, alternating it with compost tea, so the plants receive a liquid feeding every 5 to 7 days in total. By week 6, the first green tomatoes form, multiple clusters per plant. The stems are thick and self-supporting. The leaves show no yellowing, no pale patches. By 10 weeks, the harvest begins in waves, dozens of tomatoes ripening in sequence, each one full-sized, firm, and richly colored because the plant had everything it needed at every stage of development. That's the difference between gardening in depleted soil and gardening with a living, actively fed system. Here's your complete application schedule to put this into practice immediately. Every 10 to 14 days, aerated compost tea applied to the root zone of all vegetables. Every 2 weeks during fruiting, banana peel liquid diluted 1 to 5 applied to tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and squash. Every 3 to 4 weeks during early growth, grass clipping tea, if available from untreated sources, diluted 1 to 10 applied to leafy greens and brassicas. Once or twice a season, a light dusting of wood ash worked into the soil surface around brassicas and root vegetables. Every 2 weeks during fruiting, eggshell calcium tea applied to the base of tomatoes and peppers. Ongoing throughout the season, maintain a 2 to 3 inch mulch layer over all growing beds. That complete rotation costs nothing except the time to make it. Here's the simple truth behind all of this. Healthy soil creates healthy harvests, every time, without exception. The most powerful inputs for building healthy soil are the ones loaded with carbon, minerals, and biological diversity, which is exactly what compost, kitchen scraps, and organic matter naturally provide. There's something deeply satisfying about growing more food without spending more money, about closing the loop between kitchen waste and garden productivity, about watching plants thrive because the soil under them is alive and working. The 6 free fertilizer secrets we covered today aren't shortcuts. They're how gardens are supposed to work when we stop interrupting the natural fertility cycle. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel for more practical vegetable gardening content, covering organic methods, high-yield growing strategies, and techniques that work in real gardens. So, tell us, which of the 6 secrets are you going to test first? Drop your answer in the comments. We read every single one. Until next time, keep growing your garden.